Georgia Supreme Court held that nobody had really been wrong, so you really don't have an issue. So while I had some time off between Christmas and New Year's this past December, I went down to the state archives, one of the many areas that the Secretary of State manages for the state. I was allowed to take my laptop in. I couldn't take any notes. In fact, what notes I had to leave with the woman who watches you. A lot of you, if you've done any genealogical research, maybe you've been to the state archives here in Clayton County. So I already knew which 50 referendums I wanted to look at. I wanted to look at single issue referendums where the answer was yes or no. Pass the splost, yes or no. Liquor by the drink on Sunday, yes or no. Bond referendum, yes or no. I counted 50. I'm not a statistician, but I figured if I can get 50 spread out over the last couple of years, plus the ones I know about in Cobb County, that'll give me an idea of what's going on. So I went through those. They brought me the boxes. I opened the files. And after 50 referendums, let me back up. I went in there with a simple question. If you're using electronic voting and you have a single question referendum, the total votes cast minus the yeses minus the no should equal what? 0. Doesn't happen in Georgia. Now, I'm not saying it's big. On average, out of those 50, on average across the board, it was 0.7%. This is still twice what the original secretary, when Kathy Cox bought the, when she was Secretary of State, she was trying to keep it below 3.5%. But what I also found was there was one referendum that did come to 0 in Rome, Georgia, in Floyd County. When I opened the file and went through the documents, there were 2 debolt machines in 2 different locations where the election officials had scratched out the numbers in order to make it balanced, kind of like you used to do with your checkbook when you were younger. So even there, it didn't work. But I did find a county where they had a referendum for a SPLOST. 3.5% of the votes went through blank. At about 2:45 that afternoon, I looked up at the lady who was staring at me. Mr. Chastain, don't raise up, you've got to leave the paper on the table. I mean, she was just there to be my regulator, make sure I didn't steal anything. I looked up at her and I said, what if I told you, I said, are you a regular voter? She said, well, yes. I said, what if I told you that the odds are that for every 100 to 125 ballots that are cast in Georgia, one doesn't get registered correctly? Oh, that's so God. And I said, you've been watching me all day. I said, I've just come to that conclusion. That's when I decided this was going to be one of the major issues I talk about. So that's the main thing, is we need to get rid of the debolt machines. But as I look more at the Secretary of State, I've had people who have retired from the state inspector, from the Secretary of State's investigation division, who have contacted me, making aware of some other things have been going on. A good friend, Garland Favorito, he's not a libertarian, but he's been all over this. This is his issue. He and I have been working together. In fact, somebody else and I were down at the Securities Commission this past week, finding where hundreds of thousands of dollars that have been coming into the state from the Investor Protection Trust have been basically used to pay somebody $85,000 a year to occupy space. More than likely, nothing illegal here, just because of a political thank you. While the money that was supposed to be intended as restitution for people who were wronged back in the 90s, big banks, stocks, you never hear about that stuff anymore. But the point is, the Secretary of State's office is a great little place to build an empire. And I don't want to build an empire. I think the one thing a libertarian has to offer in that slot is to be an umpire. I would like to ask any of you, if you are licensed in whatever you do, if I go to my website, send me an email, tell me what's going on. I've got questions like, why is it that the orthopedist who did my carpal tunnel syndrome, my carpal tunnel release, his license is $1,400 a year. My dentist pays $400 a year, plus another fee he can't remember for being with liver anesthesia. And then the woman who cuts my hair, she only pays about $50. If the role of the state is to make sure that these people are who they say they are, have no criminal record, and are supposed to be safe to do business with, why do we have this disparity? The other question is, why is it when we had little entrepreneurs in places where you could set by, you used to go buy a hunting license or renew your hunting license, all of that has been outsourced to corporations outside of the state of Georgia, and yet the cost of renewals have gone up, and here's a libertarian asking the question, why would Republicans and Democrats take revenue away from small business in Georgia and send it to Las Vegas and Kansas City? I don't have all the answers for being the Secretary of State, but I've got a hell of a lot of questions. And so I hope to support them. Ask those questions. We're going to call out Karen Handel on some of the things she's done. We're going to question why the Republicans have used the Secretary of State's office to help out each other and some other things. And then I'm going to get to speak on behalf of the Libertarian Party wherever I go. And I want to leave you with a thought that I try to leave with everybody I speak to. You can build a cage large enough and any animal will think it's free. It's when you remove the cage that you have liberty. Democrats and Republicans debate every day the size and the strength of the cage. It's the libertarians who want to put the government inside that small cage and make sure that we're the ones who are free. I thank you for your